there I am. Aha! Hopefully, if you are in my chat, you can see me. Hopefully, all being well. So, 71! Hey! Where have you been all my life? It is good to see you again, 71KJC. So, yeah, we probably won't be busy over here, but I need to get better at being over here on the old TikTok. Name's Queenie. Welcome. So, yeah, we are going to be listening into WFLA, I think, because I really like JB Bueno, however you say his name, and I like how they talk through stuff. So, we'll probably listen to them. I'll obviously have to pause it, make commentary in between stuff, but yeah, I am good. I have missed you. I've been hiding. I've been staying away from all the drama. Oh, can you imagine if she's being arrested? Woohoo! Hi Nyoka. I've seen the message that popped up in chat. I will reply properly, but I am so sorry to hear that your baby, your fur baby, is no longer with you. I know how I would feel. I am so sorry. I just haven't opened the chat up to reply properly, but sending love. So if you hear me talking to someone, you can't see them in the chat, vice versa, you know that's because I'm talking to someone on the other side. Like, are we? Has it got going yet? Let me just. It must be horrible, Nyoka. I am on YouTube as well as here on my TikTok. So if you want to go over there and actually watch what we're listening to, because on here, I keep forgetting that I can set it up on here to do this, that I can set this up so that we can watch a bit of it on my phone, but I'm not set up enough to do that. And while I'm trying to manage confidently the YouTube in the background as well as my TikTok, I don't want to add a third device in there to manage bringing myself up on my backup account so that we can stream it as well, so that I can do it that way. But I will do it. I will get better at that. I can only do that when I can manage two devices because I'm just getting used to YouTube as well. I want to just read through some of these comments in the chat on. Oh, go. Jennifer Soto was her name, isn't it? So JB is now playing in the background. Right, let's go over to the chat. So the real dad has apparently asked for privacy. Now, I can't verify this. I can't deny this, but I'm just reading what the chat is saying. Don't know why they were calling Stephan stepdad. They weren't even married. I think people call people stepdad whether they're married or not, don't they? I need to what? Ah, Stephanie, what were you doing over here? Oh, I might be able to add you as a moderator while you're over here, if I've got enough spaces. Oh, there you go. What's unmirror? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I will be on tonight. I'll probably end up carrying on from here and then just finishing earlier. And this is why I like to be free, right? I don't like to be accountable to anyone. And now I can be live at 5:30 because I can without worrying. I'm my own person. Yeah, I like TikTok. The only thing is you don't get blue. You're not blue. I like the blue. But you can't show things on here very easily because it'll either restrict your live, so it doesn't go out on the FYP, so people aren't seeing it. And the point is, you want to be seen because you're sharing the information, or you just get bananaed for about a week. Although I am managed by TikTok Live now, so my automatic bans do get set
now will begin momentarily.
straight away, and I'm pretty much put back on. And if I'm not pretty much put back on and they have to look at it, then I've got the contacts to do that now. I did see our old friend NC was looking for her old moderators and old members to go and watch her on Twitch and somewhere else. I don't have time for Natasha's. Yeah, do you know what? I used to like them because I used to stream through the day. Like we would do the day stuff, you know. We would do the news. We would do the court hearings mostly, is what I'm known for. But you know what happened there?
WFLA Now will begin momentarily.
Hey, I want to know the truth and I want to know the facts. Now, if it's left on there, I will go back and watch it. But I would certainly not be going in there and engaging in a conversation. I want to see if she makes up what she spent 20k on. Yeah, ciao.
Live from WFLA Studios.
Yeah.
Top stories.
Yeah.
Breaking
I somehow
news.
got pushed
Interactive
further
coverage
and further,
in the palm of your hand.
back
This
tonight.
is Stream Center Live.
Lost my mojo a little bit. Lost my
Here's
identity
JD
a bit.
Buno.
I'm back.
A highly anticipated update in the Madeline Soto investigation in Central Florida. Kissimmee police calling a press conference this afternoon to announce new details in the disappearance and tragic death of the 13-year-old girl who investigators believe was abused before
What do we
she was
think's
killed
happening then,
shortly after her
guys?
13th birthday. We are
I'm
live
back
in
with a
Stream
bite.
Center
Oh,
ahead
yeah,
of
I'm
the
back with a
2
bite.
o'clock press conference to break things down and to answer your questions live. Hello there to you folks. Good afternoon.
Hi,
Wherever you're watching from, welcome back.
so I just
into
do
the
what I want when I
Stream
want
Center.
now.
Glad to have you with us. Of course, the subject matter today
which is nice.
going to be difficult
nice.
as we anticipate.
Because I've had a few busy days, I've still been quite late.
From the Kissimmee Police
I'm
Department
just catching up
in
with
Central
life,
Florida,
and I will get into my
2 o'clock
routine.
Eastern. We are waiting for that feed to pop
And I'm
up. The
getting
moment
there.
that feed
Today is
pops
my
up,
first
showing us,
day
of course, the podium and
doing the do.
anything else going on at Kissimmee Police, will of course take that press conference live. One of the main, of course, functions of the Stream Center is to provide you with high quality live.
I can't even believe I
feeds
kind of
from
really got
across the
sucked
country
into that and
and
just
around
went
the
with
world.
it and
Today
didn't
we
say
are
anything
talking
or do
about
anything, just
Madeline
did it.
Soto.
But hey
It
ho,
has been
living
3
learn.
weeks since her body was found in the woods in Central Florida,
Suppose
and of course 3
manipulation at
weeks
its
since the
finest.
swift arrest
Without
of her
knowing
mother's
that you've been
boyfriend, who
manipulated.
you've seen on your screen.
Maybe.
37-year-old Stephan
Murder
Sterns,
charge is
young
coming.
man, being transported by the local sheriff's office there in Central Florida. Again, this all happening really in the Orlando area.
Long
Sterns was
story,
arrested on February
71. Long
28th
story.
on charges of sexual battery, possession of child sexual abuse material, after detectives found disturbing images and videos
Yeah, they
on
will.
his phone. These
They
videos
will.
and pictures, these images were criminal and sexual in nature, according to investigators. This is one bad guy.
Thing is,
according
though,
to
like
police.
she's
He faces
come on this
now, as of
platform,
last
and
week,
she's used
an
my whole
additional 60
entire
counts,
method.
8 counts
So I've
total of
obviously been
sexual
good
battery of
sometimes.
a
I've
child
got
under
good
the age
ideas.
of 12, 5 counts of sexual battery with
Or
a
my
child
style, should I say.
between 12 and 18, 7 counts of lewd and lascivious
Or
molestation,
murder and
40 counts of
accessory.
unlawful possession of materials
Yeah.
depicting sexual performance by a child.
Let's not go
It's
through those, JB. We don't need
a
to listen to
long
those, right?
list
Because they're
of charges
traumatic.
that Sterns faces. Not included in those charges, however, is anything directly connected to Madeline Soto's death. And so, of course, with the press conference that was announced,
There will be a
today by
clash of
Kissimmee
personalities soon
Kissimmee
enough.
police themselves,
I just wish I
calling
had
this 2
the
o'clock press
want to
conference,
sit there with my
there
popcorn
is
and watch
an
it, but I don't.
anticipation
I haven't looked,
widespread
haven't been
across social
over there,
media
don't even
that
monkeys.
there could be additional charges that Sterns faces, of course, depending on how the investigation is played out.
But I
behind the
will
scenes
try and
over the
find
last several
Elijah's
weeks. We have,
hearing.
of course, seen the arrest affidavit that has come out, but we haven't seen any direct evidence come out other than what was stated at the press conference. The
Mum
video
possibly
evidence
did not
that
know, but her
they had,
interview was
Madeline
sus.
Soto was seen on video, captured by a camera, being seen not alive in Sterns' vehicle on the
It goes
morning
to show
of
why
her
women are
disappearance.
raising
That, of
kids
course,
on their
being,
own.
February 26th, when she, again, for those
Oh
of you familiar
no,
with
has
the
it? Oh,
Madeline
you'll
Soto
have to
story,
tell
we'll
me
kind of
more.
backtrack here for a
PM
second.
me.
Young
PM
girl
me.
who
PM me.
we were led to believe was dropped off near her middle school.
Yeah, I
Of
make
course,
my
she
own
never made it
schedule,
to
and I've
that
got my
middle
and I've got
school
my
that
motivation,
Monday
which is
morning on
Jen.
really
Jen sends
pretty
me bad
ordinary,
ass
normal day
TikToks to
of
motivate
school
me,
life in
get me
Florida.
through
Never made it, and
nerve-wracking
that, of course,
situations.
set
They are
off the alarm
badass.
bells with
I
Madeline
even
Soto's
shared them to
mother,
someone
Jen
else to
Soto, who ended up calling 911, contacting
help
the
them
authorities. A missing
feel better.
child alert in Florida was issued. A massive search took place in Central Florida
He's
and
not in
beyond.
purple,
But
that's
it was just several days
burgundy.
later that Madeline Soto's remains were found not
Someone's put
too
he's in
far
purple,
away
that's
in
burgundy.
Central Florida in a wooded area. Authorities say that Sterns is the prime suspect in this case, but charges,
Yeah,
again, as
I
we
don't see
noted,
the
have
relationship
not
with
yet been
her and
filed.
her
Any
newest
charges anywhere filed
bestest friend.
directly
Last thing, they're
connected to
two,
Madeline
they
Soto's
clashed.
death.
She's
And
got a bit
so
more
the
boisterous as she's
anticipation is
grown her
today that we
platform.
could, at the
She's
very
not.
minimum, learn more
She
as to
hasn't taken that
when
from
those
you.
charges
Just
could
stay
be
the person
filed.
that
If
you are. You
not,
don't change.
this could be very well a formal
But yeah, you get a bit
announcement of
feisty, and then
charges,
the other one's
whether it's against
feisty.
Soto,
It's not going to end well.
whether it's against Stearns or
Sadly, though,
or
I've
if
had to
there's
harden
any
up
additional parties
and be
that
really
could be part of this. Now, I say that because people
disconnected
who follow
and
me
keep
know
myself
that I
as
don't ignore the
independent as
chatter
I
on
can,
social media. In
like,
fact,
which is
hashtag
horrible.
AJB is
But
just
that's where I'm
primarily a
at
vessel
now.
for me to spotlight your comments, and we're going to spotlight your comments
We are
coming up
waiting.
here in just a moment. But I don't ignore social media chatter.
Okay,
And the chatter on social media, there is a curiosity as to the
I am
role that
proud of the fact
Madeline
that I'm
Soto's
just
mother
myself and that I've
played
never
in all of
changed and that
this.
I'm down to earth
Jen
and that
Soto,
I don't
who
see
in the
myself
days
as
after
anything.
Madeline's
I'm just
disappearance
me.
was seen
Like, I'm
doing
just a little
interviews with local
person in my
media,
little house,
talking
my
and
kids,
pleading with
my
the public
dogs,
for
and
help,
that's it.
doing
Like, I'm
everything that she
nothing.
could to help find Madeline. Jen Soto has been a person that
But
people have focused in on
I
social
have
media.
to be
I'm here to point out,
solo.
of course, that there has been no evidence, nothing
There's
put
going to be
forth
a
by
police presser.
investigators that
We're
Jen
all
Soto
waiting with
had
bated
anything to
breath.
do with Madeline Soto's death. That is a fact at this present time. However, social media wants to know exactly what role Jen
We
Soto
want to
had
know
in her
where Jen
daughter's life
Soto is, don't
as this
we?
alleged abuse was taking place at the hands of Stearns, who was the live-in boyfriend with Madeline Soto and her mother over an extended period of time.
You send me out to the wolves,
Before, of
David.
course, she
I'll
went
come back
missing,
leading
before
the pack.
Madeline went
Don't you
missing,
worry.
before she was killed. So, Jen Soto, again, I'm going to look into the camera and just tell everybody here, Madeline Soto has
In my
not been,
Facebook
excuse
group,
me,
I have to
Jen
say,
Soto, Jen Soto
someone
has
sent
not
me,
been charged with anything.
or
There
someone
has
has
not been
said in my Facebook
anything
group,
put out by investigators or
that
deputies to
birthday party
suggest
that
that
she was
she
just at wasn't at her
is
grandmother's. So I'm
accused of
just
anything
waiting for
criminal
them
in nature.
to prove it.
But people want to know what the household
Send me out
dynamic
to the
was like.
dogs.
And
I'll
if
come back
Madeline
leading them.
Soto was being abused, was Jen Soto aware? And is
Hey,
Jen
beep you
Soto
in
really
your
what this boils down to?
WFLA.
Was Jen Soto a
I've always
victim
got a place for
in this,
WFLA.
being part
I'll
of
take out
a
Tito.
abusive household that was run by Stearns? And
But I've got my,
was
like,
there just
you know, I've got my
a
people.
palpable amount of fear that transpired
That's what you need.
and was present in their
Just need
lives
your people.
over really these last few years or last few months? Or is Jen Soto at all responsible? These are the questions that people are asking, is whether or not Madeline Soto's mother has any role to play in what transpired with her daughter's tragic death.
You mean
Jen Soto, of course, again, not
Crumbly?
being charged with anything. There has not been the notion put forth by investigators that she is, of course,
Hey,
going to be charged with, that there's any evidence to
Oh, thank
suggest
you,
that.
71.
However, social media wants to know what the household dynamic was like. And so
He's a
one thing that's
monster.
of course curious, and one thing that stands
I
out
do.
to me, is that when Jen Soto does these interviews with local media in the
Yes,
aftermath
he is
of Madeline's
compassionate.
disappearance, you see Sterns lurking in the background. And that,
And
of
he
course,
fact
communicates
checks.
to us, is there potentially a control element that was going on at that
Oh, God,
time?
can you imagine if
How
she has
much
been
did
arrested?
Jen Soto know
Amazing.
about
Well,
what
no,
was
it wouldn't
going
be
on with her
amazing.
daughter,
It would just
and
confirm everything.
how
that
much
people
exactly did she
thinking.
know about what really transpired that Monday
Hey,
morning?
Ariel,
These are the questions that people want to know, because people ultimately want justice.
I hate to
for
say it,
Madeline
David.
Soto.
I'm gonna. She's
But
probably
as
in
a
a river
reminder,
somewhere.
Jen Soto pleaded with the public for help. Jen
Tracy
Soto is the
Harrison.
one who called
Tracy.
911. Jen Soto has not been charged with any
She's
crime.
not had
Jen
her
Soto has not
hearing
been
yet.
accused of any crime. Jen Soto, at
Because
this
it's
stage in the
April, it's been
investigation,
delayed,
is just
isn't
a
it?
mother who was doing everything that she could to find her daughter. And so people want to know more about Jen Soto and whether or not she's going to pop up, whether that name is going to pop up at the press conference today. But really, the anticipation
This is where they
whether or
say,
not
no,
there's
she
going to be
didn't
any
do any of
charges
it.
related to
Not a
Madeline
participant
Soto's
or anything.
death. And that's going to be, of course, the focus and the focal point today. We're live ahead of the press conference. I'm keeping my eye here in the stream center on that screen over this, really in this direction. And when I see the feed pop up, we will be able to take you to Central Florida Live. We'll be able to take you to the Kissimmee Police Department. And what we'll be able to do is listen to the press conference live. After that press conference has wrapped, we will go over what we have learned, break down what we have learned, and make sense of it all, and do that interactively. So here in the stream center, of course, we have the ability to tap into your comments anywhere. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter. And when we go live on Instagram, we can even bring in Instagram comments. We are, of course, technologically advanced enough to be able to bring in your comments from anywhere. You can also submit comments by going to www.heyjb.live to submit a VIP comment there that kind of sticks on my screen so that I absolutely see it. If you submit a comment there, there's no way for me not to see it, versus a YouTube or Facebook Live comment where the comments just endlessly scroll and it's just a matter of luck if I'm looking at this monitor to my left at the moment that you submit your comment. So let's get to the comments and see exactly what people are asking. So the way that the interactivity works,
I hope they do.
Go to heyjb.live if you're
another
in the US
favorite.
or Canada. If it's an international comment coming from beyond the US or Canada, you can punch in world.heyjb.live. You can also use hashtag HeyJB with your comment. Those are the only 3 ways to get your comment on screen, and I'm hopeful to answer.
Is there a river nearby?
As I can. Shout out to, let's see here. Wow, they're already coming in so fast. I'm trying to scroll and grab this one.
I hate to say
Shout
it,
out to Michelle and our great moderation team, keeping our comment section kind and respectful to all. And that's, of course, the instructions on how to have your comment featured. So let's look at what folks are saying. Earth, Moon, and Stars say, can you turn your volume up? I'm looking at my levels here, and I believe that we are at the appropriate volume. Anybody else? Let me know in the comment section. We're really, audio is so important to a live stream, and want to make sure that when we actually do go live to the Kissimmee Police Department, that you guys can hear everything correctly. I have full control over audio here. I can even boost audio levels when they are low, and like when I say low, I mean really low. But hopefully, people let me know. Anyone else having the same problem that Earth, Moon, and Stars is about volume?
They probably need to turn their volume up.
Let's see.
Madeline Soto. There's an update. Well, there's going to be a police update shortly.
I'm just looking for questions and comments. Okay. Antihero 4.6 says, and my team is telling me that the audio is fine. So our audio levels here are fine. That puts that to rest. Antihero 4.6 says on YouTube Live, hashtag AJB, has she said anything publicly since it came out, what is on her boyfriend's phone? And again, some really disturbing material investigators say was on Sterns' phone.
Yep.
We have not heard from Jen Soto. It's been relatively quiet on that front. I haven't seen any interviews. I haven't seen anything with local media. Everything that we have been told to this point is that Jen Soto is cooperating fully with the investigation, and we haven't been told anything to the contrary.
My end.
So at this point in time, you have to remember, this is a mother who lost her 13-year-old daughter days after her 13th birthday. How would you react? No one is going to blame.
I mean, we have
no one
to
is
say,
going to blame Jen Soto for avoiding.
We gave Mum the benefit of the doubt,
and you can't read anything into that. That doesn't tell you anything other than we have a.
However, when things don't start adding up,
a loss
obviously
that
we're
no
not going
one
to
in
throw
this
out
world
there
should ever
this, that, and the
experience,
other,
and that's the
and
loss of a
she's
child.
guilty because we still don't know.
No one
we don't
should
have
read
that proof,
into
but it makes
Jen
you question.
Soto not
like,
being in front of the cameras.
Should we have given her the benefit of the doubt?
Seen extraordinary examples of strength and and really
No,
strength
it
that
seems
can
to have
be
been a long
inspiring. We,
investigation,
of course,
and
saw so much
we
from the
finally
Petito family in the
will we
aftermath
get
of
the
Gabby's
answers. I
death.
don't know, but at the end of the
And
day,
that,
she's supposed to be
as someone who's covered
buoyed up.
a lot
She
of
is
cases of
supposed
missing
to
persons
have
and
gone
a
vanishing.
lot of murder cases,
Her story doesn't
I can
make
tell you that
sense.
that
You
is
know,
the
you
exception to
can
the rule,
generally
so to
tell
speak. That
whether you
is
saw someone
very
the night
rare to
before in the
see
morning.
a
She saw her in the
family
evening, and then in the
have the
morning, but
strength to
said that she
be
saw
out
it in
in
the
front of the
evening
cameras
only,
and out in
and then
front of
in
the
the
public in
morning
the
she saw
aftermath of
her.
losing a
So what is
child.
it? Morning, evening.
Most parents, most family
So yeah,
members,
it's
when
going to
they
be very
lose
interesting.
a
Like,
young victim,
why do I get a feeling like we're going to get
it's more normal to see them just
maybe if she
try
has
to
been found
cope with their new
guilty,
reality in the
maybe
privacy of their
there's
own
not going
home
to be a
and to
perp
only
war
surround them with
because
the people that they trust, not
they've
invite
she's made a
cameras and the
deal
media into their living
so
room.
that they
So
can
we
take
haven't
the
heard a lot
Sterns
from Jen
down.
Soto, and no one is going to
Just a
to
thought.
blame her, of course, for being a grieving mother. All right, some other comments. Some other people are saying that they're having problem. All right,
The audio is
got to do a poll. I'm sorry. We have to get to the bottom. I've seen enough comments now that the audio apparently is low. Let's start a poll. Is audio working fine, or is it low? That will just allow us to quickly find out. So these are, I want to just point this out. These are some of the comments that I'm talking about. Day wonders, and it says expects that Madeline Soto's mother would be charged. But again, we have to be responsible here. And I understand, again, one of the things that makes us unique here in the Stream Center is that we're not going to ignore the social media chatter. We know what people are saying out there. But I'm telling you that there's no evidence right now that Jen Soto has been anything but a cooperative and grieving mother in this entire investigation with the Kissimmee Police Department and with the local sheriff's office. Now, people will point to perceived inconsistencies, alleged inconsistencies, and I understand that. What I'd like to do is just remind our audience that when you are experiencing your nightmare come to life,
exactly.
It wouldn't be the first time that somebody who is going through such a traumatic experience would be inconsistencies with their statements. It's happened before. It will happen in the future. It also has to be stated that we don't know what kind of influence Sterns had on the Soto household,
aren't they?
in particular on Jen Soto. So let's try to have as
Mine is on
have as much
loud.
of an open mind as possible, with the respect that there could be a lot of different reasons as to why certain things in this story
Not
might not perfectly add up according to, of course, all the sleuthing that's been done on this particular story. Live now to the Kissimmee Police Department. Here is the feed. This is just now coming in. And let's check the results of that poll.
If you're lucky, I might turn the camera around for a second.
All right. A majority says that audio is fine. I'll bring up my audio just a little bit more. I'll boost it a little bit more. Hopefully that gets the job done. So we'll monitor this here on the right side of your screen. We're still 10 minutes away from the actual press conference. Let's see. Avs. Hashtag AJB. I would be traumatized. This would definitely cause my stories to be inconsistent. Let's remember that we have no idea what this feels like. Yeah, the only way to have any comparison is if somebody lost a child under tragic circumstances. And for our entire audience, I hope that that is absolutely none of you. And speaking to, oh, let's listen in here.
Mic check.
Okay, just mic check. Sometimes they'll say, okay, we're on time. Sometimes they'll say, so I always listen for mic checks. This comment is spot on. We have no idea what Jen Soto experienced. And I would encourage our audience to have grace. We have no idea what it's like to lose a child under these circumstances. We have no idea what the dynamic is like. Jen Soto could very well be a victim in this entire story. You don't know what was going on behind the scenes when the door closes. And inside that home, you just don't know. We have a very dark picture based on Sterns and his mobile phone. And he consented to allowing investigators to look at his phone. He claimed that there was an accidental wipe of his phone, but that didn't deter investigators. Investigators were able to find some really disturbing digital evidence that that paints a picture as to what Sterns was really like. But you just, again, other news outlets aren't going to address social media chatter. I will, and I'm going. We don't know what's going to be stated at this press conference. We don't know how often Jen Soto's name is going to come up, if at all. But again, she has not been charged with any crime. There hasn't even been an accusation of any lack of cooperation at this stage in the investigation. So, folks, try to think about this as separate from the social media chatter and gossip as you can.
Have a word with them.
Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, of course, but I'm here to help you stay kind of grounded in reality until we hear otherwise from police and from investigators. All right, some comments here. I was wondering where are the VIP comments, and there they are. They're all coming in now.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dice que no les está llegando el audio. El micrófono tuyo. Es que quieren que los dos estemos. ¿Cómo que nos hemos encendido? Si encendimos, si estamos conectados con Miami. Miami está grabando ya, ¿verdad? Sí, Miami está grabando. Y van a empezar en punto a las 2.
What didn't I find?
Tenemos 6 minutos. Así que díganme, ¿qué
April,
necesitan
with this
rápido?
comment, we don't want the mom to be guilty. That would mean she allowed this
Ramón,
even more
quédate ahí,
horrible.
que lo están viendo.
I understand that there's
¿Me
a lot
escuchan bien?
a
Okay.
lot of commentary about Madeline Soto's mother, but you
Ya, listo.
we're going to learn a lot more at this press conference. I would anticipate. Everyone, just remember that everyone is really quick to assign blame. In today's world, in the world of social media, people are just ready to point the finger, and you just don't know what life was like inside that home when Sterns was present, what the dynamic was like. Okay, and at the same time, we don't know if Jen Soto herself is a victim. Investigations take time. Uncovering facts takes a great deal of time, and we might learn a lot more about it here in the next few minutes.
I hope we're going to learn. What didn't I pull up?
Okay, so now we're in black. Where did our feed go? Did they power down for a moment?
He has great hair.
Oh, no, it's back.
He's just being polite. He has to be.
Yeah, reading some of your comments, everyone has a right to form their own opinion. What I am saying is form your own opinion. Don't read something else on social media that someone else formed as far as their own opinion and then just immediately assume that opinion without doing your own research on the story. I'm always pleading for people to understand the story, go as deep as you would like. There's so much content about Madeline Soto and what her life might have been like before her death, and
Horrendous is what her life would have been
it's
like.
absolutely tragic. I hope that everybody is able to do their own homework on this story so that they can form their own opinion.
He's just being neutral, though.
Let's go full screen now and listen in. We're now 3 minutes away from that press conference, and we'll start for our Facebook Live audience. In fact, let's just pop on really quickly and say hello to now Facebook Live. We're now live across all platforms. We're moments away from a police update. Investigators calling a 2 o'clock press conference from the Kissimmee Police Department with an update in the Madeline Soto investigation. As a reminder, no charges have been filed specifically in the death of Madeline Soto, while they do have what they have described as the prime suspect in custody and being held in custody without bond, that being 37-year-old Stephan Sterns, being Madeline Soto's mother's boyfriend. There has not been any charges specifically filed on Madeline Soto's death. That could change today. That, of course, is the question that people are asking. When will there be justice for Madeline Soto? So if you're just finding the live stream, the press conference has not yet begun. The time is now 1:58. The press conference is expected to begin here in just...
He's an interactive journalist, so it's his job to interact with the comments. So he has to be very in the middle. And you have to be. You have to be in the middle. I know it sucks. And like I said, what I think doesn't necessarily get represented isn't by what I'm putting out there. Like, we have to stay in the middle, because if we say, well, yeah, she absolutely did it, and then she didn't, we could get in trouble. What we think and what we share and show, we have to show neutral. We have to seem neutral. It's what we have to do, whether we like it or not. I try my best. Sometimes my mouth will let me down. I know how that feels. I'll get into the emotions and all the feels, and then my
Again,
mouth.
as a reminder to our audience, as we wait for the press conference to begin, after the press conference, we're going to break down what we have learned.
Thank you so much for being here. My name is Alibet Suarez. I'm the Communications Director for the City of Kissimmee. Chief Betty Holland will be providing remarks about the progress of the investigation. After that, she will open the floor for questions. We are not doing one-on-one interviews after the press conference. If you have any questions that are not related to this case, please send an email to kpdpio@kissimmee.gov. At the end of the press conference, you will receive a package with information about the case in English and Spanish. Now, I would like to introduce Chief Betty Holland.
Go get me a packet.
We'll break down what we have learned after the press conference concludes.
Hey, guys.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today and allowing us to provide an update on our investigation into Madeline Soto's disappearance and death. Madeline was reported missing on Monday, February 26, 2024, just one day after her 13th birthday. Since then, our investigation has been relentless, fueled by the unwavering commitment to uncover the truth. During our forensic investigation, we uncovered disturbing evidence, graphic images, and videos depicting crimes being committed. It was during this examination that we learned we needed to act swiftly to remove the suspect, Stephan Sterns, from our streets. Despite the arrest, our investigation into her disappearance remained ongoing. We understand the importance of thoroughly exploring every lead and piece of evidence. The Kissimmee Police Department, along with other law enforcement agencies in Central Florida, continue their search for Madeline for the next several days following her disappearance, and we turn to the public for help. During this time, our investigators combed through a significant number of tips, and on March 1st, we received information placing Sterns' vehicle in a rural area of St. Cloud, where ultimately Madeline's body was discovered. We are all deeply saddened by the outcome of Madeline's disappearance. The Kissimmee Police Department continues to piece together the timeline leading up to the events that occurred. I want to address some questions we are receiving from the media in everyone's effort to keep the community up to date on this tragedy. At this time, Sterns is facing a total of 60 charges related to our investigation. This includes sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. These charges reflect the meticulous work of our law enforcement community. Our detectives also are working closely with the State's Attorney's Office for the 9th Judicial Circuit and the Medical Examiner's Office on the investigation. Death investigations are complex. Tasks like forensic analysis and thorough interviews are crucial and require careful attention. It is vital to address these misconceptions in the pursuit of justice while preserving the integrity to the case. During an investigation such as this one, we gather additional information from individuals close to the deceased. Each person interviewed is treated as involved until proven otherwise. This is a standard protocol to ensure all the facts are uncovered. During our investigation, we have interviewed many individuals. Each interview has been vital to our understanding of the case. We are reviewing all of the information we received and are following up on every lead. Attention to detail and the diligence are the most important aspects of this investigation. We are committed to transparency and will provide updates when possible. Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable. Now I will open it up for any questions.
Chief, I have a question. We know that you're working behind the scenes during this investigation to make sure everything is in order, but what can you tell us new today that we don't already know?
I don't have anything new that you don't already know, other than our detectives are working tirelessly day in and day out to ensure, all the facts are uncovered in this investigation.
Chief Holland, is the mother a suspect or a person of interest in this investigation? And also with the videos that you uncovered, is there any evidence of the mother's involvement on any of these videos?
So everyone that was close to Madeline is considered suspect until we have proven otherwise.
Chief, how close are we able to know what actually happened to Madeline Soto?
Well, this is a very sensitive and, it's very intricate. We want to make sure that we uncover every single fact and all the evidence before, we don't want to put a timeline on it, basically, because the detectives are very meticulous in what they do. And we want to be sure that everything is uncovered that possibly can.
So can you release any information about the manner in which Maddie died at this point?
No, ma'am. We are still waiting on the medical examiner's report.
What? It's buried.
In the family's home or somewhere else?
We're still uncovering all of those details. I'm not going to speculate on that until we have the facts.
No way they don't have that information.
Tell us if Stephan Sterns acted alone in all of this.
We're still uncovering all the evidence. I don't want to speculate whether he was or not. We will wait until the investigation, is completed to make that determination.
Well, yeah, but the initial
Did he acted alone, or what has he said in interviews?
homicide.
I know he's in jail.
Yes.
What has he told you about other people's involvement, if any?
He has invoked his right to a lawyer, so we have not spoke with him.
Is there any time that you can expect an update for us? The public is asking every single day, and we understand that you're working on the investigation, but we would like to give them something.
I don't want to rush my detectives. I think it's paramount that they take their time. And, Mr. Sterns is not going anywhere. He's in jail and he's going to be there for a while. So my detectives, I want them to be, just look at every single detail and make sure. But I don't want to give a timeline at this point.
Are-
You mentioned you're working closely with the medical examiner. What does that relationship kind of look like, and what information are they able to release to you before that ends?
So not really. I wouldn't say that they've released an information. We depend on the medical examiner's report for our report. So we're going to have to wait until they release that report.
Do you believe there are any additional victims?
No, it appears that this all was isolated to the home.
Chief, I'm still trying to get a sense of things. Do you still feel like you have more questions than answers at this point?
I think our questions are being answered slowly but surely. For the integrity of the investigation, we have to, keep things close until such time as we hold those accountable for her death.
Chief, do you feel like this is taking longer than it should because Stearns is not speaking?
No, I just think that, sometimes these investigations are just very lengthy. We know that he is in jail and he is not going anywhere. So the detectives are just making sure they cross the T's and dot their I's. They want to put together, a foolproof investigation.
Chief, is the mother and the family members being cooperative and answering questions? Have they lawyered up? And also the father of Madeline, who is not a Florida resident, is he a part of this investigation or at least being asked questions?
We have interviewed, all those family members that are close. Mother has cooperated. She did give us an interview. So there's, no one is not cooperating other than Stearns.
We know that the crimes were committed in the home. We also have, the date of birth of the person, but we have not confirmed that is Madeline Soto. Would you be able to confirm that information for us?
Right. So all of the charges are with children under the age of 18, and they are protected. Their identity is protected under the law.
So it's gonna expect. It's been a couple of weeks. Nobody's charged for the murder of Madeline. Nobody knows exactly what happened to Madeline. We can expect in the couple of days someone is gonna face charge for the murder of Madeline Soto.
When the detectives put their case together, like I said before, they want to ensure their investigation is tight. We're working, hand in hand with the state attorney's office to ensure, every piece of evidence is revealed and uncovered. So I can't put a timeline on when that might be.
With his cell phone, there's one thing to understand here. So he originally went to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. At least that's what we understand. He gave the cell phone to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office then found something on his phone, which led to an arrest. In the arrest affidavit from Kissimmee PD, it says he offered his phone freely to Kissimmee PD. Can you kind of explain how that happened? Because I just have a tough time understanding how somebody who's been arrested for something on his phone freely gives a phone out again.
Well, I don't know the intricate details I do know that the Orange County Sheriff's Office and Kissimmee Police Department were working hand in hand, during, the actual disappearance investigation. So I don't want to speak on exactly how that happened, but it's not uncommon for us to ask someone if they want to, give up their phone.
Chief, is there anything in particular that keeps you up at night regarding this case?
Well, a lot of things keep me up at night. My takeaway from this is talk to your children, families, talk to your kids. Know that there are agencies out there, the abuse hotline, Help Now, that people can report suspicion to. And I would encourage mothers and fathers to have those conversations with the kids and be aware.
Last question.
Had you guys investigated this family before?
Not for anything like this, no ma'am.
I'm sorry, can we just confirm how long that relationship was, the mother and the stepfather?
That is still being under investigation. We're trying to get the timeline for that.
Chief, I have one more question. This is a case that became really big out of nowhere for a lot of people, but what has the department learned through all of this so far?
Well, this was a very tragic event. I think that, like I said earlier, it's up to us, up to each family member to have those conversations with your kids and report any suspicion of abuse to your school resource officer, to an adult that's a trusted adult, to any police officer that's out there. So just report it and let the law enforcement community investigate. Thank you.
Wow. Well, that was a lot of nothing.
I'm baffled. I'm just baffled. That's my first. I'm always upfront and honest with our audience. I'm baffled. No significant update today. No charges, any charges, let alone murder charges being filed in this case. The Kissimmee Police Department, on their own accord, deciding to call a press conference today. And the press conference there was the anticipation from local media that this was going to be to announce an update, to announce new details, to give us an update on the progress of the investigation and what has transpired in the weeks since Madeline Soto's body was discovered and since Sterns was initially charged, and then a follow-up 60 additional charges were filed against him related to the disturbing evidence on his phone. Here we are now, and we have this press conference from Chief Betty Holland, and Betty tells us
nothing.
Very little. And I think I'm being kind when I say very, very little. Based on my notes, they're still waiting on the medical examiner's report. And when specific questions were asked in relation to Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, everyone close to Madeline is considered a suspect until otherwise, which basically tells us they haven't ruled out anything, but they're also not definitively stating anything that has transpired with the progress of their investigation. I think it also has to be stated.
Yeah, it was
when you, and perhaps this is something that people might not know about how law enforcement operates. For the most part, this proves to be true. That when a sheriff's office gives a case over to a local police department, the case can shift in pacing in this one respect, and that a county sheriff's office usually, more times than not, is going to have a larger investigative force and more investigative resources than a local police department. So the investigation here might have slowed a bit when the Orange County Sheriff's Office transported this to the Kissimmee Police Department. I'm not saying that that's definitively happened, but I'm saying that that happens a lot with stories that we cover, regardless of state, regardless of municipality, that more times than not, if a local police department is handling a investigation,
I have a friend,
county or even the state,
friend on here.
The amount of resources are limited, and there isn't just as many man hours that they can assign to a particular case. With that said, this if this press conference was to satisfy the demands of local reporters and local media, then a statement being put out or a tweet being put out of saying that we don't have much new information to share, likely
I agree with that.
Would have had a similar, if not the same, impact rather than a press conference where a lot of
there was no place today.
In the comment section, we're anticipating some kind of an update.
They haven't given anyone any information since they found
meaningful, significant update.
Madeline, right? They haven't given us that information.
So, yeah, baffled is the word.
So they make a big thing that we're going to have
baffled as to why this press conference
now
is called.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be the mom. It's going to be arrested." Blah, blah. They may as well have just said nothing.
A 2-paragraph press release just stating
because
our investigators continue on this case.
We don't know anything more other than they've just confirmed about the 60 charges that no one wants to go into ever again because they are
medical examiner's
report violent. I can never unseen some of the things that I've seen.
So to call a press conference,
I'll never get over that.
Is out of the ordinary. Undoubtedly out of the ordinary.
However, they did say that the mum wasn't a suspect.
The only thing that this does is
before they found her, but now they're saying everyone is
media,
suspect.
Even that much more,
that's slightly
people are going to look into this and say, okay.
And normally at this point, it's really weird. I don't know if it's just Florida or state by state, but in a lot of the cases, there's usually an indication of
rather
whether this is a homicide,
and a press conference,
it would then be classed as a homicide.
To give to
and then
local media,
you could still be waiting on the toxicology and stuff.
Chat
back for more for added information.
We've had some surprising
none of that's been given, so perhaps maybe they're not acting on anything until they get that toxicology before they announce it as a homicide.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to increased.
No, the mum's
on chat,
disappeared.
which is-
ASMR.
chat
Or
is
Lisa,
just, I think
she's
sharing the
apparently
same
almost gone into hiding. No
feelings
one's
as I
seen
am,
her.
of,
No one knows
that
where
there was
she
a
is.
tremendous amount of
She's
surprise.
cooperating according to them.
Let's just start with one more time with Madeline Soto's mother. Again, hasn't been charged, hasn't been
Cooperated, yeah,
accused,
what
and
is
a
that?
reminder, is cooperating with this investigation, has given an interview, and by all accounts, including you heard there, the question being asked about Madeline Soto's father, who's not in Florida. Apparently, everybody is cooperating with this
Yeah, it
investigation.
went on
with
for
the
years.
exception of
It
that
not
man
for
right there,
you,
Stephan Sterns,
you
who
know.
has in essence blurred up while being held
When
on
it's
bond
happening
in Central Florida.
to you, it's different than when you know it's happening to you and your child, especially when the child isn't
#HJB
his
if you want to
anyway.
have your comment spotlighted on screen, or if you want to submit a VIP comment that
Yeah.
goes to a separate queue on my screen, you can.
She
of course,
knows something.
Go to
And
www.hjb.live
obviously, no
to
one can
submit
say
a
or do
comment
anything
there.
because no one can prove anything.
My goodness.
What she knows, what she doesn't know.
Yeah, the bottom of your screen tells it all. No murder charges filed yet in Madeline Soto's death.
They could have just put a post out, really, couldn't they? Said
I think that at the very least, that
yet.
people were expecting there to be at
Still
least
working hard.
progress on that front today. And the chief of police just standing there for 10 minutes and talking about their investigation. And you know, this we should state as well that
71.
the hard work and the due diligence of investigators and what they are doing to try to pursue justice of Madeline Soto, this doesn't detract from that in any way. It just, from a PR standpoint, it's a peculiar tactic to call a press conference for absolutely very little. I want to say absolutely nothing. I want to say very little.
No one is clear.
When it became apparent that there wasn't much new information being released today, I just saw people leave. There was, I think, okay. Well,
I'm sorry, ASMR.
You know, let me know when there actually is an update that I can follow.
Or Lisa even.
Okay.
Yeah, Riley Strand is out there, Australian, and he needs help. But
money and valuable resources. That's a VIP comment from one of our commenters going to hjb.live, and I'll try to spotlight as many of those as I can. Whoa, I see. I can't. There it is. Alicia, they use the word "those involved." Maybe they could. Maybe no. Based on this press conference, it is. They have not. Singular words. Be careful.
Maybe he's trying to divert from the fact that everyone's homed in on they.
It could just be the manner in which Chief Holland.
I'm glad, Lisa.
It is widely believed that this is a story and an accusation, a series of accusations, if you will, that is focused on that man right there.
They would be dead.
Stephan Sterns.
Not gonna lie, they wouldn't wake up another day.
Let's see here, Holly. Hey JB, I respect that they need to keep their cards close. However, all they have done today is stoke speculation. Big fail on their part. This brings the story back into the forefront, back into the conversation. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it does. They are right. The comment says, "I respect that they need to keep their cards close." Now people are going to be
talking, and you would hope that
all they've done today
the narrative
is
on social media. You would hope that it's as fact-based as possible, but you know how social media is. That there's going to be rumor, gossip, speculation, and that rabbit hole can get really deep real fast. Geraldine says, #HJB, they're not going to release a lot of info. They won't jeopardize any trial process that is forthcoming.
Yeah, I think
after Nicole's case, they will not jump the gun. I have zero doubt.
Sometimes what drives
they will do a thorough and complete investigation, lock
well,
and hopefully go for the
normally,
which is death penalty. Geraldine on Facebook Live, by the way.
If they don't normally navigate to crime, but like
you're
something
unequivocally
like this,
correct.
if it's
they're of course they're not going to jeopardize
similar
the trial process.
situation, it does navigate you.
It's still a curious decision to
he's
call
He's just a baby.
a press conference.
10 years older
to
than you.
Gather all local media, say, we are going to announce the latest in our investigation. When in reality, there's so many different ways to update the public.
He doesn't want to fess up, though, does he? He wants to get the lightest sentence possible, and he probably thought
today's
that he will get the lightest
sort of
sentence. And he
communication with law enforcement. When a press conference is called, it's for a reason. There's other ways to basically say that things are ongoing, and we hope to have an update for you soon. You could have put out a tweet. You could have put out.
They should have waited, shouldn't they? Really?
Post.
28. Well, you are just
Riley
a baby
right now,
Shannon.
I mean, that story. We're getting updates on that story almost exclusively through Twitter.
I literally just turned 46. Traumatic. Okay.
These press conferences with all of these expectations mounted onto it.
He reminds me of
and
the
them
case
say,
Corey.
Things are ongoing.
And Corey.
It's just it's
Corey was it? The one from the military base.
And again, I don't want this to be.
And was
I'm
never
not
found.
trying to criticize the investigation in any way, shape, or form. I've known officers, I've known investigators, deputies over the years.
You've got your birthday coming up. I've just had my birthday. David is like way down
work. Sometimes you are pouring through mountains of evidence. I mean, mountains of evidence, and it can be extremely taxing.
I'm not being nice to our
not being critical of the Kissimmee Police Department. I am not. I just think it was a curious, baffling decision.
Let me see what the Facebook page got to say about
in general, not even for the Kissimmee Police Department, to call a press conference and not really have a center point of your conversation, like the announcement. You're calling a press conference without an announcement. You're calling a press conference just to basically stand there and say the investigation is ongoing and to take some questions. That's bizarre. That's frankly bizarre. Let's see here. Whoa, Charlie, #HJB. Maybe they called the conference for reasons unknown. Maybe there was a method to the madness. Also, big hello from Ireland. Hello, in Ireland. Thanks for joining us from across the way, Charlie. With an active investigation, press conferences can be tactical. There can be a strategy behind them when they are trying to coerce. When they're not coerce. When they're trying to hopefully get public involvement. Sometimes press conferences are a tool that can be used by law enforcement to get the public interested in the case, to try to unearth the unknown, to try to get people to come forward, to try to get people to submit tips. But I didn't hear a lot of that language in this. I don't. You guys, I can't remember if Chief Holland at any point stated,
in the Facebook group. Hang on.
We need the public to come forward and submit new information.
It's one of
a
those
lot of that language.
worked meetings that could have been an email.
Police department or a sheriff's office.
I agree.
To try to get new information, new leads, generate tips. But
I've been on here about a year-ish, I think. Or maybe a bit longer than a year. Maybe I've had my year.
April, with a great question. I'm glad that you asked this one, April. JB with the pictures on his phone.
Really got into it a couple of years ago.
The redactions on the arrest affidavit.
Getting involved with stuff.
We know that there are 8 counts of sexual battery of a child under 12, 5 counts of sexual battery with a child under 12 to 18. So there's clearly age ranges.
Maybe they were arresting someone today and they didn't want press to get it on camera.
Excuse me. There's
I don't know who thought that this would be enough to satisfy the media and the public. I think it will just raise more questions.
In fact, that was the big thing that that Chief Holland noted as far as the evidence that it was disturbing.
Agree. I
Visual
do have a
evidence that is
feeling there is
disturbing
one more
has
person
been uncovered over
involved
the
for
course
sure.
of
She
this
kept saying
investigation. Stephan
all
Sterns is
involved
following.
versus our person of interest.
Right. I mean, mac and cheese, hashtag HAB. She never came out and stated
Girl,
the
this
mom
is
is
so
not a
accurate.
suspect. She
Rude of
ignored it.
them to call a
She
press
didn't ignore it.
conference and a
She
waste
didn't
of money,
ignore it.
time, and
Mac and
resources.
cheese.
She looked annoyed,
She
like,
said
come
everyone
on,
close
hurry
to
up,
Madeline
Nam.
is
You're the
considered
one
a
who
suspect
said,
until otherwise. She's
hey,
basically
we've
saying
got
that
an
this is an
update.
open investigation, that
I
everyone
know that
everyone
don't.
close to
I
Madeline
know
is
that don't
considered a
owe us any
suspect until we
answers,
officially
but
rule them
why
out.
have press conference
So,
with
and she
nothing
wouldn't
new?
definitively look into the
Yes,
camera or look
I
at any
agree.
reporters or
Why
say
have
that
a
anyone's
presser
been
with
ruled out.
nothing new?
So that is what I'm talking about as far as
So there's
social
already
media
people are not
now are
impressed.
going to re-engage the narrative,
Big Nothing Burger,
the perception
an update to tell
that
us
Stearns is not solely
they're not
responsible
telling
for what
us
happened to
nothing.
Madeline Soto. And while that
You wrote that,
we really don't know what was going on behind closed doors in this household as Madeline
use my comments
Soto was
to a waste of
allegedly
time press
enduring,
conference for those who truly want the truth.
abuse at the people,
Osceola
at the hands
citizens
of.
do not re-elect the sheriff. They are incompetent. They released a pic of the body, but no updates. Truth?
Man, I'm still
Auntie
a little
rewrote
bit
that.
surprised.
Yeah,
that we're
you
not
did. So
able
did the
to
person in the
just look
Facebook
at
group, unless that
something
is you,
now
the person in the
and
Facebook group.
examine a fact with this. So often after a press conference,
And you, Lisa,
okay,
and you.
This is what we've learned.
We've
This
just
is
had an
new. This
update on
carries the
Madeline Soto.
investigation
We're just
forward. This
bitching about it
carries the
now
public
because
discourse on this
we
story
basically
forward.
waited for
What
it,
do we
and
have
well,
here?
nothing to
we don't
see
have
here, nothing new, nothing we
anything
didn't know already.
tangible for people
Why
to
call
grasp.
it if you're not
And when
going
you
to
don't
update
have
us?
an actual update, all people are going to have
Annie Rhea is a single platform girl.
in otherwise is the potential to speculate.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm still a little surprised that we're here not talking about something new that we have learned. Comments here.
JB Bueno from WFLA is covering the updates. And he's saying the update is expected
Jessica
to
says, could they be
be
doing it and saying things we
significant.
just
Well,
don't
it
understand?
really wasn't.
Reading in between the lines, like, was there more to this that we're supposed to read the tea leaves and understand more as to what investigators are hinting at? That's not really something that law enforcement. They're very direct, usually to the point. It's not for them. It's about delivering results, not delivering, puzzles for us to solve in the form of press conferences with language that we can't, that we have to have an effort to and put forth an effort to comprehend. Man. Right. No, he says we don't know who is in the arrest warrant, but she said they don't believe there were other victims, so we can deduce that it was Maddie. That's yes, and that's so that's
a smoke
again,
show,
like
nothing more.
Dots.
Yeah.
That's what we are led to believe without it being definitively stated at this press conference. So,
well, that was disappointing.
Samantha from New Jersey. Hey, JB, I just joined. Would you mind repeating what's going on? I'd be happy to. The Kissimmee Police Department called a press conference, where there was an update anticipated in the Madeline Soto investigation, and there wasn't much of an update. Waiting on the medical examiner's report. Everyone is still a suspect. No new charges have been filed. No one has been ruled out as a suspect. Just a lot of general confusion in our chat over what could have been handled in a tweet or a press release. Right. So Rhonda, do you think that they use the press conference to make people that may be involved nervous or to bring people forward? I do think that there are tactics in other cases where a press conference can have a deliberate purpose, where investigators say, hey, look, in addition to getting out the latest information, this can be used, a press conference can be used to our advantage. But in this particular case, I didn't see anything that would lead us to believe that there was a secondary purpose to this other than releasing, information. And even though that information was scarce, I didn't see anything of the sort, Rhonda.
No, nothing. We don't know anything more.
Right. People are Nick is saying maybe this was meant to spook others out of hiding.
I hope so.
People are now wondering that this is now delving into speculation. This is exactly what I was talking about. When you don't have facts to report, the absence of fact leads to speculation on social media. When you have facts, you discuss the facts. When you have a lack of facts, it becomes speculation. And here in this case, now people like Nick are wondering, maybe this was meant to spook others out of hiding, when everything that we have been told in regards to this story is that this is the person who is the prime suspect in the case, that he is facing more than 60 charges related to some disturbing digital evidence on his phone, that this is the person who is responsible for really an extremely dark chapter.
It was a pointless
in Madeline Soto's life,
that they held with
but
us
now people
today.
are
I
going
am
to
not
wonder
going to lie.
outside of the fact that we already knew, because of this press conference where we were anticipating an update, anticipating a new set of facts.
Auntie Ree says,
we were sorely mistaken.
Kissing Me Police called a presser to tell us the sun is shining in Florida today.
We're going to be live for another 5-10 minutes.
Enjoy your cone of fries. French fries sound good. So I'm going to bear with me a minute.
So here's something
so I'm going to end the live
possible
on YouTube.
Bulldog Hustle says #KJB. They were going to say something.
So I need to
find at the press conference, when the press conference was
Elijah
not allowed to
and
say
see what minutes of her hearing there was.
We have seen this.
So I will see you guys on the old
YouTube. We've heard about this
very
in the past,
soon. Bye, guys.
Where a press conference was called.